Henry Jennings was not born a pirate. He was a man of means. He was a wealthy planter from Jamaica. He owned land. He had a family. This was not the typical start for a man who would become a notorious sea rover. Before the chaos of the golden age of piracy, Jennings was a respected figure. He moved in high circles. He was educated and likely well-spoken. His life was one of privilege, far removed from the desperate sailors who often filled pirate crews. He was a privateer, a legal pirate of sorts. He had a letter of marque from the governor of Jamaica. This paper gave him the right to attack enemy ships, specifically those of France. Spain, for Jennings, this was a profitable and patriotic venture. The War of the Spanish Succession had raged for years. It provided men like Jennings with a golden opportunity. The end of the war created a crisis. Port Royal overflowed with unemployed sailors. Tough, experienced men with few prospects on land. Henry Jennings saw the situation clearly. He had the ships. He had the connections. He had the thirst for Spanish gold. Summer of 1715, a massive Spanish treasure fleet assembled in Havana. It was loaded with silver, gold, jewels, destined for the King of Spain. As the fleet sailed off Florida, a hurricane struck. The storm smashed the galleons on the reefs. 11 of the 12 ships sank. Treasure scattered across the seabed. News spread like wildfire across the Caribbean. The opportunity of a lifetime. Spain sent salvage crews and set up a coastal camp, but others watched, hungry for the silver. For Henry Jennings, it was a call to action. The treasure was there for the taking. He crossed the line, from privateer to pirate. He gathered several ships and hundreds of men. His mission: raid the Spanish salvage camp and seize the recovered treasure. It was bold and illegal, a direct attack on a nation Britain was now at peace with. Jennings' expedition succeeded. He sailed from Jamaica to the Florida coast. His flotilla descended on the poorly defended camp at Palma de Aix. The governor had forbidden it. Jennings ignored him. He and his men, including future pirate legend Charles Vane, overwhelmed the guards. They escaped with an incredible fortune. Around 350,000 pieces of eight seized. Jennings had gambled everything and won. He was now an enemy of Spain and an outlaw to Britain. The raid changed him. From respected privateer to pirate captain. He couldn't return to Jamaica. He and other captains needed a new base. They found it in the Bahamas. New Providence. A perfect deep-water harbour largely abandoned by Britain. It became the headquarters for a new generation of pirates. Jennings was among the first, a leader of influence and wealth. He helped establish the Pirate Republic at Nassau. In Nassau, Henry Jennings was a king. He was not a king by title, but by influence and power. He was one of the most respected and feared pirates in the burgeoning republic. His immense wealth from the Florida wreck raid gave him incredible clout. He was older and more experienced than many of the other pirates who flocked to the island. He served as an unofficial magistrate and leader for the pirate community. When disputes arose between crews, they often turned to Jennings to mediate. He was the closest thing Nassau had to a government. He commanded a large and loyal following. His word carried significant weight among the roguish inhabitants. Jennings continued his piratical career from this new base. He led numerous raids against merchant ships of all nations. He was known for his intelligence and his ruthlessness. One infamous incident cemented his reputation for cruelty. After capturing a French merchant ship, Jennings and his first mate, Charles Vane, tortured the crew for information about their valuables. This contrasted with democratic pirates like Sam Bellamy, who often treated captives with leniency. Jennings was a pragmatist. He was in the business of piracy for profit, and he used whatever means necessary to maximize returns. His leadership style was that of a commander, not a comrade. Many pirate crews operated democratically, electing captains and voting on decisions, but Jennings ran his ship like a privateering vessel. He was the undisputed authority. This was a holdover from his previous life. His education and social standing set him apart from common sailors. He was an organizer, a strategist, and a key figure in coordinating large-scale pirate actions. He helped make Nassau the most dangerous pirate den in the world, a direct threat to trade and regional security. Despite his power, Jennings' position was precarious. The Pirate Republic was chaotic and violent. His authority was constantly challenged. Younger, more reckless pirates like Charles Vane rose in prominence. The British Empire could not ignore Nassau forever. Pirate attacks crippled trade. Merchants and governors demanded action. The Pirate Republic affronted the crown. Jennings, the intelligent planner, must have known their lawless paradise couldn't last. The British government finally decided to act. The constant piracy emanating from Nassau was too costly to ignore. In 1717, King George I issued a royal proclamation. It offered a full pardon to any pirate who surrendered to the authorities by a specific deadline. For those who refused, the proclamation promised swift and harsh justice. The Crown appointed Woodes Rogers, a famous former privateer, as the new governor of the Bahamas. His mission was to eradicate the pirates by pardon or by the sword. This news threw the pirate republic into turmoil. The community was divided. Should they accept the pardon and give up their freedom, or should they fight to the death? Henry Jennings, ever the pragmatist, saw the writing on the wall. He knew the pirate life was unsustainable, the might of the Royal Navy was coming, and Nassau could not withstand a determined assault. He was one of the leading voices in favor of accepting the king's pardon. He had a fortune to protect. He had a life to lose. He used his influence to persuade many other pirates to follow his lead. When Governor Woodes Rogers arrived in Nassau in July 1718, Jennings was among the first to formally surrender and accept the pardon. He turned his back on the pirate life he had helped to create. Not all pirates agreed. Charles Vane, his former protégé, fired on the governor's ships and defiantly sailed away to continue his piratical career. Jennings' life took another turn. Having accepted the pardon, he settled in Bermuda and attempted to return to the life of a respectable citizen. He had his wealth, he had his freedom. For a time, it seemed his story would have a quiet end. He even became a pirate hunter, using his knowledge of the sea and his former associates to help the authorities track down those who had refused the pardon. This was the ultimate act of self-preservation. The former pirate king was now working for the very system he had once defied. It was a strange but logical conclusion for a man who had always been guided by calculated self-interest rather than a romantic notion of rebellion. The final chapter of Henry Jennings' life is shrouded in some mystery. The peace between Britain and Spain did not last. When war broke out again, Jennings returned to his old trade of privateering. However, his luck eventually ran out. According to some accounts, he was captured by the Spanish.